Hello! I know I haven't been on here for a hot minute, so it's been around 8 months since I uploaded anything on my English channel. That is because the Greek channel has been taking up most of my time, and that is the honest truth. I did say I would be back for creative makeup, and to be frank, I was anticipating getting down to doing more creative looks much sooner. It just didn't happen. So we're kicking off the Halloween season with a Wednesday Addams makeup tutorial. I'm aware that she's a child, but I thought I would reimagine her in a more adult version. Of course, if you're interested in the mother, Morticia Addams, I have done a black and white version of her as well, and that will be flying around in a card somewhere right now, and in my Halloween tutorials playlist in general. I will be uploading 4 Halloween tutorials and 1 body painting look for Day of the Dead, so that is 5 creative looks in total. Please leave me your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you'd like to see how to get this beauty look accompanied by this black body painting with a white lacy collar and a purple bow, then let's get straight into the tutorial. I'm starting off with my NYX Total Control foundation in number 1, which is apparently the palest shade, so I'm taking this all over my face, neck, up to the point where the color is going to be starting basically. Next, I'm prepping my eyelids with my Untitled paint by MAC, so this is not to be confused with paint pots. And for a change, I'm not using concrete for my eyebrows, I'm just using a Benefit eyebrow pencil just to fill them in normally. Now, Copperplate has been discontinued, but there are dupes out there. I still haven't run out though, so I'm using it to create a little bit of shading, mainly in the crease. Now that is towards the front part of the eye. I don't want to create an elongated cat eye by any means. I'm also contouring the nose, the area underneath the eyes, on the forehead. Needless to say, of course, we're doing the bit underneath the cheekbones as well, and underneath the jaw, and any little nook and cranny, as I like to say, such as the little dip underneath the lips and above the lips and all that jazz. So where there's shadows, there's supposed to be a bit of highlight as well. I'm using a very pale shade, which is my Mylar eyeshadow by MAC, greatly loved and used throughout the years. So this is matte. I don't want any shimmery shades for this tutorial at all, but I am adding a little bit more shadows where needed if I lost them because of the previous product. So I'm going in with my Inglot gel eyeliner just to line my eyes. I'm doing a basic lining to start off with, but I'm also creating quite a harsh black line underneath and also a little point towards the inner corner just to elongate them slightly. I'm also taking the same gel eyeliner, just whatever's left on my brush, onto my eyebrows just to raise them a little bit and just accentuate this arch because I want it to look much more strict and kind of creepy in a way. So I'm going in with a white pencil for the inside of the eye. I just want a really harsh contrast between the inside and the outside of the eye, but I'm trying to keep it rather soft and balanced at the same time by using dainty false eyelashes. So these ones are by NYX, but I'm not using any mascara whatsoever. Instead, I'm just moving on to concealer, which is my Kat Von D, again, number 1 lightest shade for this look. I'm taking it right underneath the eyes and wherever else I need it. However, this erased the shadows that I put purposely right underneath the eyes, so I'm gonna have to go back and restore them in a minute. I'm also using that concealer to highlight the high points of my face, such as the brow bone, while I'm at it, and I'm quickly moving on to restoring this eyeshadow that I lost beforehand. Also, to create more of a puffy look underneath the eyes, I'm going in with a flesh toned pencil, if we're talking about really fair complexions, just to create that illusion that the bottom lid is standing out even more. I'm using a black eye pencil to outline my whole entire lip. I'm giving it a bit of a smaller shape than my normal one. Well, I am maximizing the top lip as usual, but I want kind of a more childish, rounded shape to the lips. I did change it up quite a few times until I was happy with it. I added just a little bit more shading, and also I went in with my TTDEye Polar Lights Brown. Gosh, that's a mouthful. Contact lenses. Now, I didn't have to do this, but it is a bonus. I mean, if you're gonna change your face for Halloween, might as well go all out. I'm also drawing on some freckles just because, again, I just wanted to retain a little bit of this childish quality. And finally, for blush, I'm not using blush. I'm using a very cool toned contour powder. This is going to fit this look perfectly, I believe. Moving on to the body, I'm coating everything you see on camera with a thick coat coat of black. I'm very loosely designing the outline of the collar, and if we want this painted costume to look convincing, we're gonna have to cover the armpits as well as every other part of the body at the same time. I'm going in with my Concrete eyeshadow by MAC just to start with my shading on the top of the color. So just to make it look a little bit more believable and realistic looking, we're going to need to separate visually the item of clothing that we're painting on from our actual skin itself. I'm using an angled brush for the harsh bits and a blending brush just to blend everything out seamlessly. I'm then going in with white. This is again by Kryolan. It also smells brilliantly, as you can tell. So I am trying to get a very opaque layer just to fill in that color perfectly. I'm trying to get it as white as possible just to add my shading on top, and that is its best chance of it looking convincing. So with my Soot eyeshadow by MAC, I'm just going in to create that little bit more shading. So it's all a question of adding shadow and light where you want it to be. It doesn't really have to make sense as long as it looks remotely real, and an easy way to do this is to get, like I said, the rough parts with the thinner brush. In my case, it's an angled brush, and then do a little bit of general shading with the bigger brush. And of course, I'm going back in and adding a few highlights with white one more time, just because I want it to look a little bit more crisp and bright overall. You can seriously embellish this as much or as little as you want. You can add lace, you can do it rounded or more squared off, literally however you want to do it. I'm going in with a little bit of lace in the form of my white liquid liner by NYX. The reason I'm using this is because it gives me much cleaner lines, and it does add the color in a way which is not that even, so that makes it look like the light is catching it all different directions, which looks very realistic. And who am I kidding? This is my favorite thing about it. The more hyper real I can get it to look instead of cartoony, the better. So last thing I'm going to do is add this purple little ribbon. Again, I'm highlighting it with white and shading with a little bit of black, nothing fancy to it. And of course, when you're doing a Wednesday Addams look, or a Morticia Addams, or any of the Addams family members to be exact, you don't want to forget the Widow's Peak, which is one of their trademarks, I believe. So that is it for today's tutorial. I do hope you enjoyed it. It sure feels good to be back, even if it's just for the month of October. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!